Hello, this is the Onion Creature Fellow, and today there was a very special event that occurred. There was a Super Smash Bros. Nintendo Direct, and I thought that was very, very nice to see. So I just want to get it out of the way that this Direct was pretty much amazing in every way. Showed some really awesome new characters, even though I do not have a personal attachment to any of them really. I think they all look really cool and like really fun movesets, and I just wanted Bandana Waddle Dee. And they showed some really cool modes. We had this sort of stage switching mode, this sort of mode where you swap between characters, a mode where you whittle down the cast. You have to choose which character to play. It's very, very cool stuff. There were two things that I noticed were very absent, and the two things that I want the most, and that is a new Kirby character and a single player mode. Now there's good news on the single player mode front. So some internet sleuths have done some investigations, and I think they've discovered that the mystery green icon says something along the lines of spirits, and this seems like it's pretty reliable, and that sounds like it could be some sort of single player. And when I say single player, I mean story mode along the lines of Subspace Emissary, because that's kind of what I want. That's something I feel that was lacking from Super Smash Bros. For Wii U and 3DS was any kind of story mode, and I really would like them to bring that back, especially since they're building off the Smash 4 engine. So I think it is more possible than it was then, since they were starting from scratch back then, and now they're building off this original game. So it seems like it could be more possible. So in Smash Bros. Wii U and 3DS, they started introducing a lot of boss characters, and that was kind of interesting. And with this new game, they're continuing that trend with the Castlevania stage. And also, very interestingly, they're also doing this with a Monster Hunter character. I don't remember the name. It's sort of dragon creature, but it looks very cool. But what was interesting is we didn't actually see this stage that this dragon appeared on as revealed as an actual stage. So it's not in the list of 103 stages. It seems unlikely to me that they would announce a new stage in that manner and not have it be on the website and in the revealed list of stages. So what's interesting about this stage is that it's a flat plane, so it would be weird if that was just the stage. So either it's a traveling stage and that's just one location, or other possibility. Here's I think the biggest piece of evidence. Okay, at the beginning of this sequence where they introduced the dragon creature, they had a fairly elaborate in-game cutscene of the dragon appearing. And they have not done this with any of the other Echo Fighters. All the other Echo Fighters haven't really had any elaborate camera movements or animations in that specific way. So what my little theory is that is some sort of boss fight mode that's within this spirits mode, if that's actually what it ends up being called. That's some sort of boss fight, some like traditional boss fight, not just a stage hazard, because that was not unveiled as an actual stage. So my thought process is perhaps there is some sort of story mode, and it will feature that as a boss fight, and presumably it will also focus on having Nintendo-inspired worlds as opposed to the more general fantasy lands in Subspace Emissary. So perhaps they'll be sticking with the game-inspired worlds, because I believe that stage looked like a Monster Hunter location. So that's my little theory on that front. So I think there's still hope for story mode of some sort. I really love that. One of my favorite things about the Smash Bros. Series is the Subspace Emissary, so seeing that come back in any way would be really awesome. And it's also possible that the cutscenes we've already seen are some sort of part of story mode. That could be the case. That's not out of the question, just because of the manner in which those stages were presented, is they're taking place within a character's world. So perhaps those are like introductory cutscenes or something. I don't know. Who knows? But it's possible. It's not impossible. You see what I'm saying? You starting to get the picture? Okay. Now to the biggest item of the day, Bandana Waddle Dee. This man was not present today, which is disappointing. However, hope is not lost. Okay. So here's my thought process. Every new Smash Brothers game has had a new stage for Kirby. Every single one. They all have a new stage for Kirby. At least one. Now what I'm thinking is, we have not seen a new Kirby stage in this Smash Bros. Game, which is very, very evident. It's very evident to me. And what I'm thinking is perhaps we will get a Bandana Waddle Dee reveal trailer, and alongside that they will reveal a new stage. I was thinking about this, but then I also realized that both King K. Rool and Ridley did not have stages associated with them, and those are akin to Bandana Waddle Dee in that they are new characters from a pre-existing series. So it's not necessarily concrete evidence. However, I would be more concerned if there was a new Kirby stage and Bandana Waddle Dee was not there to be associated with it. So I don't know if that's going to happen. I mean, obviously the other two newcomers you've seen from Castlevania and Splatoon have had new stages, but also those series are new to Super Smash Bros. So I don't know. One thing I do want to mention, just on a positive note, is that this guy wrote this excellent Google Doc on how Waddle Dee's moveset and etc. could be present in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And for me, that's like my dream scenario, so I definitely recommend reading through that. It's very awesome. That guy has some really great ideas. I specifically like the idea of incorporating moves from other varieties of Waddle Dees, like Waddle Dee's Beam Pole, the Parasol Waddle Dee's Parasol, which actually was an idea I had recently, and then that guy just so happened to have the same idea, and also added in the beam stick. So that was great minds think alike, evidently. But yes, the thing that does concern me about Bandana Waddle Dee is that it's only 4 months away, and Sakurai mentioned that we should not expect too many new characters. That being said, I feel like Bandana Waddle Dee is pretty popular. So if you look at Kirby as a series in terms of characters, it only has 3. And if you look at that in the wider Smash Bros. Context, it's kind of tiny. Because you have series like Metroid, which now has 4 characters. Obviously Mario has like 10. Pokemon has around that as well. And Fire Emblem has 7. But Kirby is still back there with 3. You know, a big part of that is that Kirby doesn't have too many recurring main characters like some of the other series like Mario. But neither does Metroid. And, you know, we got Dark Samus and Ridley, so I don't know, man. Bandana Waddle Dee. I just feel like they really do have to add a new Kirby character, because it's been 10 years since we got any new Kirby characters. And I know Sakurai doesn't like to add too many characters from his own series, but like, the man has added 7 characters from Fire Emblem, which was a series, you know, prior to being in Smash Brothers, no one cared about. So, I don't know. I mean, obviously it gained a much bigger following in the United States after the release of Awakening, etc. But, you know, just semantics. The main point is, there really does need to be a new Kirby character, and Bandana Waddle Dee is just the most obvious one. And you can't even make the argument that he's not a Sakurai era character, because I think, you know, in Smash Bros. We've had a problem with incorporating elements of modern Kirby. We've never had a stage from modern Kirby. Music from modern Kirby has been more limited, generally. And we certainly have not had a character present from modern Kirby. So Waddle Dee is pretty much just, you know, he appeared in Kirby Superstar, which, you know, was a game that, you know, Sakurai made, and he's had just such a huge presence in recent Kirby games. I think people really underestimate the amount that he's appeared. Like, he's been playable in, like, so many games in the past, like, 8 years. It's kind of insane, and he's not in Smash Bros. And that's a bit of a shame, and it needs to be amended immediately. And I know it's really petty to be requesting characters, because, like, obviously this is the most incredible game ever. But I just want one. I just want one character, a tiny little guy. Just some last minute predictions. I think we'll get a new Nintendo Direct sometime in September, and that'll be just a general Nintendo Direct, but it will feature a Smash Bros. Trailer, which may or may not be Bandana Waddle Dee. It will not feature any new modes or the story mode, but it will have a new character. And then we'll get a final Smash Bros. Direct in October or November, maybe. And then that will have all the information we'll need on story mode and the remaining characters, and, you know, probably some more Echo Fighters. And that would be the last chance for Bandana Waddle Dee, I think, barring DLC, which they might announce then. But I don't know, man. I'm a little worried because there's only 4 months, but, you know, there's still a lot of time. It can still happen. Yeah. So that's how I think the Smash Brothers announcements are going to shake down these coming months. Yeah, basically that's all I have to say. You know, it is a bit of a shame, you know, that I'm being such a downer on the Direct. I'm not trying to be, because I know a lot of people are really happy. Just me specifically, I didn't get the specific character I wanted. So I'm like, oh. But even still, I recognize that, yeah, this is a really great showing from the Nintendo Direct, and just really good stuff in general, and I'm very happy for everyone who's super excited. I'm also very excited, even though I'm not maybe as excited as some people. Still a lot of potential. Definitely going to be one of the best games of the year, looking like. Yeah, very, very exciting new Smash Bros. Game. Always a great time. And I am happy to see we're getting a lot of Kirby content, even if they're not characters specifically, like we have assist trophies and items. So that's nice. Not a character, but it's nice. You know, I'll take it. I think I'm done now. So you best skedaddle, my fellas. Get out of here.